with the pitchers, I keep telling them, I was like, hey, man, it's like, this is not rock'em sock'em robots. And I've seen there's some at-bats I've seen where it is. It's kind of like when we face their other teams, I see it more times than not.
I see it a lot.
And what I mean is there's a pitcher with no plan, with stuff, and there's a hitter with no approach. And she's watching this. It's like who wins? A hit? Strikeout? I was like, cool. It's not baseball. It's not pitching.
Hey Florence Nation, this is Brian White, manager of the Florence Y'alls. Thank you all for joining exercise 2 of the show. Got Dennis Pelfrey to my right, manager of the Florence Freedom, also managing the San Jose Giants. Chad Rhoades, our pitching coordinator over here, previously with the Miami Marlins. We'll talk a little bit about our game reports and some notes that we took, and take you back throughout the 2 series that we had, 2 series that the Freedom had as well. I'll let Chad start off with the pitching over here.
So, first doubleheader. And we're playing ourselves. It's a little different atmosphere. I kind of expected that going into it. So there's a few things that I was looking at in different ways. I know how our guys want to compete, and most of our pitchers don't know these hitters anyway, so it's not going to be different. But there is a different element to when you're facing your guys and you see the same guys that you see them every day. You live with them. There's a difference between driving pitches in. And you see that in guys who want to drive pitches in compared to not necessarily taking off, but subconsciously I'm not having the same intent when I'm driving a pitch in to create space. And I think that was a little bit evident in those first couple games.
I want to touch on just a little bit about how this is working for those of you that don't know. We are basically 2 teams of position players and then a team of pitchers. So the pitchers are in a pool virtually and can pitch for both teams. Pitch for the Freedom one night and then their next outing could be for the Y'alls. It's just kind of how it works out. So if you would, humor me a little bit and talk to me about what you feel like from the group is that competitive. How are you creating competitiveness in those pitchers because they are virtually their own team?
So right now, when we're playing each other, the focus is more on development. We did talk about, when we're playing against our guys, the focus is different. It's not the competitive killer instinct that we want to see when we're playing other teams and competing. These are games that we can play. We're really working on stuff. We're refining our delivery. We're working on fitting some fastballs in some tighter spots or working on specific side of the plate for guys more than we are go out there, collect your outs, get big, expose this guy. It's more of this is the time where as far as the results, yes, we're playing each other and these games count more for you guys, but in the grand scheme of things for us, when we're pitching against ourselves, we have time not to throttle back necessarily, but to really refine our command or our wipeout pitch here or something else a little bit different that we can take into now playing the other teams with a little bit more conviction and intent. The guys are all there. I think we have 27 total right now. We still have a couple guys coming in, but every single guy we come in, there's a great environment. You got to be able to get in the circle of trust to be able to be in and understand what the pitchers are doing. And down there, we're a unit. I mean, everybody's working together. We're focused on first pitch strikes, focused on it's a race to 2 strikes, so getting the 2 out of 3 strikes. And then from there, we're exposing. We can expand and do a lot of things. I saw a lot of early strikes, and then I saw some guys get away from their approach and start doing things that really didn't fit their stuff. And I think that got exposed more than it needed to, than it would have playing against another team, just because they're trying different things. We started out the first game with AJ and Mitch and then Taronis. So it's a couple guys we haven't really seen a whole lot. I haven't seen Mitch a whole lot. Converted guy trying to get up there. AJ was staying light because he had came back and he pitched for you on the road. Mm-hmm. So we want to keep him short, kind of working on his rhythm, make sure he's still attacking. He's not picking from the jump. He's finding the middle and then he's getting out, not trying to find the edge and then be forced to get back in. He had to do that on there and got tagged for a couple hard hits, but then he kept coming, kept pounding. It was nice. Mitch came in. It was a little bit more of a thrower mentality than it was pitching. and he kind of abandoned his fastball. We talked about it. We talked about it afterwards, and he started throwing his curveball. He wasn't hitting on it, and he kept throwing it. It's like, hey baby, what are we doing? Like, you keep on forcing the pitch is not there. It's put you behind the counts. Well, they're hitting my fastball. I was like, well, they were, but
it was the first one.
It was the first one. It was right down the middle. There was no thought to move it in or out or up or down. It was just a fastball. Beat him. No, and he got hurt. But he took that into his next outing that he threw the other day and pitched a little bit better. The usage necessarily wasn't the way it needed to be. Look at him and say, this is a pitcher, and he knows what he's doing. But delivery was a little cleaner. Fastball, he did try and go in and out. He hit on a couple of those and got tagged for a hang and break ball that kind of hurt him. But overall, he's going to have some growth, and he showed that, a little bit of aptitude as far as being able to convert and pick that up quickly.
And what I liked about that, too, was, that first outing was pretty rough. Let's all be honest about that. But being able to bounce it back after that and actually coming in and being able to work ahead and throw strikes, and he did find the curveball for a strike. He was able to establish those things, and you saw the confidence start slowly creeping up hitter to hitter to hitter. So it was nice seeing him be able to come back without his head hanging down and be able to compete in the next time out.
Yeah, I think the difference in those two outings was when he did hit on some off speed for strikes, but it was the confidence grew when he got those first outs. Nobody was on, like that first inning. And that second inning, I'm talking about Sunday, when that guy got on second, then he started throwing to not let him score, and the mix got crazy, and he got a little scattered and kind of got hurt. But I think that's just lumps, and it's a down payment that he's going to have to figure out that he paid.
Right.
That you're going to learn from it. You're going to keep paying for it. You already paid for it, but you got to keep doing it. So it was cool to see him out there. Matt Chad, got to see him in that first game too. Get a couple innings of work. I liked him. High energy. He creates a pretty tough angle from the left side. He's really aggressive, and he's coming at you. I think the energy is displaced a little bit. He uses it, gets on the gas a little early. He's going to clean up and get some more innings. I know the excitability was there first time out, being in this atmosphere, and I think anybody, just like we saw with Merck threw in that day, he said self-admittedly a little nervous, and you could see it. He was racing out there, so I had to go out there and make him laugh on that mound visit and kind of calm him down. But he did, and he got through basically got himself self-inflicted, self-induced bases-loaded jam by walking two, but he ended up forcing a ground ball to second, get out of that inning clean. And he came out, and you could see he was like, okay, hey, get that first dose, big dose. He said, I was nervous. I was like, good. I was like, I expected it. I was hoping he would be a little nervous or something. Now it's learn how to control that and use it for himself and harness it and work on a few delivery things with him. But got to see him work too. On the flip side, we had
Rhoades.
We had Matt start.
Yeah.
And we'll get to him later as we talk about him. But stepped up. It's kind of a spot start for Matt. He did a little of both this week. Like I said, we'll get to him. But the dude does what he does, man. We've seen him 4 times now. Same demeanor. He's got a short, simple delivery, a short stroke, and he keeps it down, and he pumps strikes. He got a little feel for his cutter, so he keeps guys just enough from cheating on him, because the cutter's going to get some mishit balls, and then he just keeps coming. Like guys, I don't think guys are expecting so many strikes filled up, expecting some kind of waste pitch, but he doesn't waste pitches, and I love it. He just keeps coming.
With Rhoades on the mound, like what he does for our offense is working so fast, and it really for the defense too. He keeps us on our toes, but he allows that offense to get back in the dugout, and that's kind of what I've been preaching to the pitchers all along. Is the faster you can get our offense in here, the more runs we can produce for you, because we are electric offensively. So it's nice having him.
And he goes right into it. We brought Wheeler behind him, and I liked what I saw in Wheeler. He really was able to get the mix and and what we talked about, and how I'm not going to sit there and say it, the mix and kind of what he's working on. I'm sure he could tell you if you ask him, but working on something that kind of gets him away from thinking about the count so much and gets him focused on himself to be creative on the mound. And that way, he's the type of guy, you have to cover the whole zone, and you got to be able to use all your pitches. So if he's got 3 pitches that you can throw for a strike, you need to be able to get those out and sequence them properly. That way he can hide his fastball. He's not going to beat guys with his fastball. He can't sit there and sneak it in and try and do things with it, but he can make his fastball better, and it can play better. And I saw that in that 2 innings, and I was thinking to myself when he threw those, I was like, I want to stretch him out. So that's why we got him a start. We got him a start on it. It was Saturday.
Yeah.
And got him through 4 innings, and he threw like 42, 43 pitches. It was pretty amazing.
It was the best I've seen him.
It was really good. So he was having fun. He was creative. It was freedom. He was hitting on all his pitches, and he really started to stay through his changeup. He's got around on that first day doubleheader, but he was just there to get a couple innings. And I saw him work. I'm like, okay, he's that's who I'm penciling in. I was like, I want to pencil him in, and he loved it.
Let's talk a little bit about the Freedom hitters. I know we're getting long, but we'll go through Craig Massey. Obviously, he's a guy who sets the tone for us offensively in that leadoff spot. He does not get fooled, does not chase, and seems like every ball he puts in play is barreled. Runs well. He's a dangerous guy to have at the top of the order. Game 1, I think he got 1 hit in 3 at-bats, but he had an RBI, drew a walk. He's, again, the comments for me would be absolute tone setter.
He doesn't force anything. He always takes what he's given. Yeah.
And he doesn't try to be something he's not. If the guy's going to stay away from him, he can shoot the left center gap, shoot the left field line. They try to come in. He can do some damage into with some power. So he's been everything that I've expected out of him so far, and then some. And he's a guy that I think an affiliated club needs to take a shot on. Because I think he can hit in the big leagues right now. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. He's a pure hitter, one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Johnny Tanktown, I guess his new nickname, Johnny Tanktown Knight on the Twitter thing. But he, one of the most impressive guys I think we've had come in here, because he's a guy really virtually unknown, had some United Shores League time. When you look at him, you're not seeing a tremendous athlete. Not to say that he's not an athlete or anything like that, but just not expecting a whole lot when you see him. And he puts together at bat after at bat. I don't think I've seen the guy chase one pitch in the dirt. I think he spits on pitches he doesn't want to hit, even if they're strikes. And he, just like he did with Carl Craigie, and I'll throw you a stat line about him against Carl. Johnny Knight is 3 for 3 this year off of Carl Craigie with 2 homers.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
And all balls hit hard. And Carl Craigie's one of the best arms in the Frontier League, if not the best.
First run since 2 weeks.
It's incredible. Season. Incredible watching Johnny Knight put together those at-bats. He had a double off of Robbie Ross Jr. Yesterday. No problem, a lot of barrel. So, he's a presence in that lineup, no doubt.
Yeah, what I like about Johnny is when he's in the box and when he swings, it's fearless. It's almost like reckless abandon. The pitcher that has a clean delivery that really knows how to throw and let it go. It's kind of like with no fear of getting hurt or just go. When he swings, he has that. There's no fear. Mm-hmm. It's scary. It's scary to watch. There's no fear that you swing and miss for him.
And it doesn't matter if a guy's 96, 97, which we saw a couple of those guys in Lexington, or a guy that's 82 flipping sliders in there. He does not change. He controls the at-bat, we talked about. He controls the at-bat. It's impressive. It really is. And coming from a guy that hasn't had high-level experience, and he's got that already, the sky's the limit for this kid as far as what he can become as a hitter. Brian Danzeru, the guy is maybe the most dangerous guy in our lineup because he's hard to pitch to. He really is, because he is not taking strikes. If it's in the zone, he's barreling it. And it's impressive to see how many barrels the guy continues to get. Has played second base really well for us, played center field really well for us. He can bounce around the field, he can run, he can do a lot of different things, a lot of damage. He's a presence in that box, and he's a very smart kid, intelligent in what he's looking for. He is a big surprise. He's up there with Johnny Knight as far as surprising. He worked out with us last year for a week. We were really good last year, so it was tough for us to even consider bringing him in. And we thought he was okay. I really thought he was just okay. Since day one here, he's been incredible. He's better than okay, and he's a guy that deserves a job. And he's going to be dangerous if BY doesn't sign him here for the Y'alls. He's going to be playing against them.
He flies straight under the radar too. If you don't lock in on him, you'll never know until you see the box score. Yeah, he did.
It's every night, 3 hits.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Man, he did it again. I just doesn't end.
I talk about Massey and Cedio. But when you look at the team stats, the guy leading our team in batting average is Danzeru. It's incredible, and the batting average isn't the big thing, but you would not expect that. It would be tough to guess.
Yeah,
it's every at bat too. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Austin Riggins, center field, played some center field, played some left field. This kid, and I'm gonna go out there on a limb and say that by the end of this thing, he may be the player of the year for me. For what he's doing, he got hit in the eye while he was in school, so he had some some issues coming back to that, couple different surgeries and at Penn State, so he wasn't playing a whole lot, so the numbers weren't there or whatever, and he shows up to the tryout here, and he looks just okay, but there's some things in there with the swing and the actions that he has that I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this kid, and Mike Morris is on board with it too. We can work with the swing and work with the vision a little bit and get it better. And this guy he's done a very good job defensively, working with the reads. I don't know if he's been taught to make certain reads or do certain drills in the outfield, but he's progressed nicely in those. He's made all the plays since day one. But with the bat, when he stays,
he might have no pop.
When he stays under control, he is loud. The barrel sounds different.
He's got a touch.
He's got a touch. The touch of death. I think we call it touch of death.
Man.
I mean, it's when those legs get out of it. If he tries to get the legs involved, you'll see some big swing and misses, and he looks fooled and things like that. But when he understands and controls his body, he barrels baseballs, and he does it with authority. It's impressive to watch. I'm excited to see what he's going to become. He's a very smart kid, a very nice kid. He's wanting to learn. It's been great.
Individually, but for the series, I think we got a little bit exposed to guys that have been around longer, a little bit more experience, able to slow the game down. We have a very young team, especially at the plate. I was curious to see how some of these Pecos guys will come in, how these short league guys will come in, guys out of college that would come in, that haven't been in a big environment or with actual people in the stands and stuff like that. And surprisingly, they handled it pretty well for the most part. I was very impressed with Blaze Speeds. He's been impressive all week to me.
He got better at the end of the week.
He did. He looked very free swinging early, and then once I think got a couple of bats under his belt and understand what the competition was going to be and the environment that we were in, he was able to lock in a little bit. And he had some loud at bats as well. He is going to be swinging the bat, but he puts the barrel on it quite a bit, and it was fun to watch for the most part of that series. Obviously, he's talking about game 2 and 3 for me. Game 1 got out of hand pretty quickly, so wasn't a whole lot of situational events taking place in that game, crawling from behind. Tenny was impressive the entire time, just finding ways to get on base. And once he gets on base, he's already in scoring position just from being there alone. And take second base whenever he wants. It's fun to watch. It's electric. I was telling him I didn't know how good he was actually going to be. I knew he was going to be good, but he is very, very impressive. Doesn't chase, stays within himself, slows the game down. He'll completely flip the script on the pitcher whenever he needs to, and he's smart enough to know that.
I think too, like with Tenny, he controls the game and he wants the attention on him,
100%.
and he can handle every second of it, which alleviates pressure from the rest of the guys on the team. If he just says, "Hey guys, I'll take it all," and if the players can say, "Hey, he's going to take everything for us," so we can just kind of fly under the radar.
And he wears it well too.
It's impressive to watch.
He doesn't get down on himself. Same demeanor the entire time. It's crazy to watch, especially for his age. I think he probably has some of that football mentality in there where he's mentally strong in that aspect, especially playing defense as much as he did. But he's fun. Pritchard's interesting because he's made the improvement of laying off the belly button high fastball for the most part. He's gone down to a little bit below the belt. He's not squaring it up so often, but he's able to foul it off and not swing through. So his at-bats are drawing out, getting a little bit better. He's starting to see more pitch throughout the at-bats because of that. Then whenever he does get that thigh-high fastball, he has connected with it a few times. So for him, it's just more of, hey, let's make sure that we're looking for something a little bit lower, or strengthening the top hand in his at-bats. And I think him and Mike have been working on that quite a bit this past week. And I'm curious to see what it's going to be in 3 to 4 weeks from now as far as his approach at the plate. That's going to improve, and being able to focus on certain parts of the plate instead of just a general area and grabbing the bat and swinging at the ball. But his at-bats he's starting to see more pitches, starting to stretch out the at-bats a little bit. So
he's balls hard the other way towards the end of the week.
He has been. He's been starting with his BP. He's not hitting the ball in the air near as often over those lights. Everything's staying line drive level, and it's starting to see the results in the game. As long as he just stay right there in the middle, focus on the opposite gap, he's been good.
Let's get the players of the week out there. You want to start with the pitchers? Let's do the pitchers first.
on the starter side, it wasn't a guy who actually started a game on the starter side that gets the credit. I'm going Villalobos. He's going to start. He's going to get the next start this next week. But he came in twice. He had the most innings for guys that are going to start. So he had most innings. It was clean. He repeated. He fixed some stuff. He was better his second time out. And he held the gate in close games. Both times he come in were tight spots, but you would have never known. When he hit on that breaking ball the other night and his fastball is the same, I was like, hey, man, you can't. And we had some performances that were really good. Like I said, Cheek's performances were really good. Tripp had a good night. They won homer. But on the starter side, I got to go with Villalobos just because of the amount of innings, throwing twice, multiple innings, and looking forward to his start next week. On the reliever side, which could have gave it to Villalobos because he relieved, but I'm going with a guy who actually started a game, who's a reliever. The spot start with Rhoades.
Yes.
But I give it to Rhoades because of the spot start, and he came in on Sunday warming up in a save situation, kept the same mentality. So his spot start, and he was coming in for a save, didn't get the save, but he came in to finish the game. 2 different roles, same dude, same stuff I've seen 3 times out. He ended up throwing 5 innings this week too. 2 out, different spots. Spot start, and then that 1 inning finish. And so Matt Rhoades gets my pitcher of the week.
And that Sunday game too, that's an easy game to lose focus on. That was the game of the week. It's hot out there, man. It was hot. In the middle of the day. It was a grind.
Put those 3 up. You got 5.
It's easy to lose your focus right there and you stay locked in.
3 guys. 3 first pitch strikes. Boom, boom, boom. 12 pitches, 9 strikes. Game.
Yep. It was nice.
So I got Villalobos on the starter side, and I got Matt Rhoades on it.
Very nice.
Solid.
I'll go with mine. Let you finish up with the Y'alls. Tough. I mean, position player wise, very tough. With the offense we put together, I think we had 25 hits Saturday night. So I mean, everybody is contributing. Everybody's doing really well. So it's really hard to pick. I think Chad Cedio got it last week, but I'm gonna go with Craig Massey. I mean, I felt like the guy had 100 hits this week. The guy just continues to punish the baseball, get on base, create havoc. I mean, what the most special thing about Craig Massey this week, in the 24-5 or whatever the score was game, late in the game, we're up 18 runs or 19 runs. He beats out an infield single to the first baseman, beats the pitcher covering. I mean, the guy hustles regardless of the score, plays hard. I mean, he is a hitter. He's a pure hitter and a grinder, and I love watching the guy play. I'm giving it to Craig Massey.
Yeah, solid. I'm going to go with Rodney Tenney. The guy saw 62 pitches in the last 3 games this week.
30 in that second game alone.
One game alone saw 30 pitches and just finding ways to get on base, not chasing. And once he's on there, I mean, he's putting pressure on immediately, scoring runs, stealing bags, scoring on a routine ground ball to third while he's on third with the infield in, and making it just look easy.
People should be paying to come watch this guy play.
It's fun,
it's
man.
Incredible.
It's fun
watching him on the field.
He set the tone, won us that game too in the first at bat.
Very first inning.
First at bat, pitcher out of the rhythm, got him laughing, joking, whatever. 0-2, works a full count, shoots the line drive up the middle. Hey, welcome, baby. This is what's going to be. Still second.
First pitch, I think, is still second.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, first pitch. We watched it. First pitch. It's like, here we go.
Crazy. Well, our guys had some good.
And he scores on a play he probably shouldn't have scored on that first inning, right?
Yeah, he should not have scored.
Should not have scored on it. Scored easily. I saw him sliding in like Superman. No, not even a play.
I tell him now, you do what you want, man. I'm not telling you anything. You do what you want.
That's a good one.
He's fun on the bases. Baker had that clutch grand slam to give us that extension on that lead. It was a 3-1 ball game, I think, at the time, 4-1. Put that game out of hand, which made it nice, but you got to go to 10.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. Well, remember, theplayerdevelopment.com. Check it out. We got all these reports on there. Some of the same things we've been talking about. We're not hiding anything from anybody. You can go check out all that stuff as far as the reports on the games and some pluses and minuses defensively, offensively, things like that. And I think the guys really enjoy having it out there. Kind of keeps them accountable. And then the Twitter is at Y'alls Player Dev. At Y'alls Player Dev. Go check it out. Cutting up videos. Max and Dave are doing a great job along with Cheek, throwing those things out there because it's really impressive because they did the Massey Bennett thing. The 3 consecutive at-bats. I mean, stuff like that's on there to go check out. But, I mean, anything else we got going on? What is your Twitter? The pitcher development.
Developmental pitching.
Developmental
But
pitching.
it would be at Pitch Engineer.
At Pitch Engineer. So that's
Pitch
a good one to go
Engineer.
check out as well. Mine's pretty boring at Pelf12. So.
Yeah, don't follow mine.
You don't follow mine. I'm not really posting anything, but Chad's really good to follow. And but man, looking forward to a big week. We're not going to see each other all week,
Nope.
so it's going to build up for the next series. So.
Yeah,
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the Freedom are going to go 6-0 this week, and I think
6-0?
you got five.
We got 5
games.
Yeah, we'll take care of business down there.
Yeah.
We'll take care of business.
You're not going to make any predictions, huh?
No predictions, but you can't predict the future.
I can.
We'll see.
We'll see you guys.